Did you know that nearly 60% of new dog owners make mistakes that can lead to serious issues like behavioral problems, chronic stress, or even shorten their dog's life? And guess what? Many of these mistakes happen without even realizing it. It's not all about treats and belly rubs. There's a lot more to being a great dog parent. So, ask yourself, are you making one of these rookie mistakes? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only know what they are, but also how to avoid them, ensuring you and your dog live your best life together. Welcome back to the channel. If you're here to better understand your furry friend, from tail wags to those curious looks they give, you're in the right place. We're about to decode dog behavior, dive into the science of how dogs think and feel, and most importantly, help you become the best pet parent you can be. If you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss out on any of our pet care tips. All right, let's dive in. Hashtag mistake 1, treating your dogs like humans. Let's talk about the number one mistake that most new dog owners don't even realize they're making: treating their dogs like tiny, furry humans. Now, I totally get it. We love them, and of course we want to pamper them. They're like family, right? But here's the truth. Dogs aren't humans. Their brains work completely differently. Their instincts are hardwired for pack behavior, and they have entirely different emotional and communication systems than we do. Take this for example. A 2021 study from Emory University found that dogs process human faces in a completely different region of their brain than we process theirs. What does that mean? It means dogs don't emotionally register facial expressions the same way we do. That's right. Your dog isn't looking at you and thinking, "Oh, I see that little wrinkle in your forehead. You must be upset." Nope, their emotional system doesn't work that way. Let me tell you a story. I once worked with a client who had a Labrador named Toby. Every time Toby did something wrong, she'd scold him like he was a toddler. Long, stern lectures, timeouts, the whole 9 yards. Toby's response? He just wagged his tail, totally confused. He had no idea what she was saying. Why? Because dogs don't understand lengthy human speech. It's not in their instinct to process it that way. It took a complete shift in how she communicated with him to see any change in his behavior. So what's the fix here? Instead of baby talking or using long, drawn-out human sentences, focus on simple commands, tone cues, and positive reinforcement. Dogs thrive on consistency, not complexity. They need clarity, not a lecture. Now, I'm curious. Have you ever found yourself giving your dog a full speech like they're your roommate? Come on, be honest. Drop it in the comments below. Let's share some funny stories. Hashtag mistake 2, skipping early socialization. Now, let's move on to a mistake that a lot of dog owners make without realizing just how important it is: skipping early socialization. This one is huge, especially for puppies. There's a critical window for socialization between 3 and 14 weeks of age. That's when their brains are like sponges, soaking up everything around them. During this time, puppies are learning how to interact with other dogs, people, new environments, and even different noises. Let me share something with you. A study published in the Applied Animal Behavior Science Journal found that puppies who aren't properly socialized during this crucial period are way more likely to develop anxiety, aggression, and reactivity later on. That's a pretty big deal, right? Now, let me tell you about a friend of mine who adopted a rescue German Shepherd. This dog was kept isolated for the first 6 months of his life, and as you can imagine, that lack of exposure had a lasting impact. Even something as simple as the sound of a vacuum would send him into full-blown panic mode. Unfortunately, no amount of treats or love could undo the years of missocialization, though of course training did help over time. But the reality is, those early social experiences are hard to make up for. So what's the fix here? It's simple. Even if you adopt an older dog, you can still expose them to new sights, sounds, people, and other dogs, just at a slower, more gradual pace. Make these experiences as positive as possible. Use treats, praise, and a lot of patience. It's all about creating a positive association with new things. And speaking of things that freak our dogs out, I want to hear from you. What's one thing that completely freaks your dog out? Fireworks? Skateboards? Maybe even a vacuum cleaner? Let us know in the comments below. You might help another dog parent out there. Hashtag mistake 3, overfeeding or feeding the wrong food. Now, let's move on to mistake number 3, and this one is critical to your dog's long-term health. Overfeeding, or worse, feeding the wrong kind of food. Here's a sobering stat. According to the Association for Pet Obesity Prevention, more than 55% of dogs in the U.S. are overweight or obese. And no, this isn't just a cosmetic issue. It's a serious health concern. Extra weight can lead to joint problems, heart disease, diabetes, and even a shorter life expectancy. Did you know that an overweight dog can lose up to 2.5 years off their life expectancy? That's a huge chunk of your time together, and it's something most dog owners don't realize until it's too late. Let me tell you about a couple I worked with who loved giving their French bulldog, La Color Bella, all kinds of human snacks. We're talking cheese, chips, even bacon. They thought they were spoiling her, showering her with love. But fast forward a year, and Bella, at just 4 years old, had developed arthritis. We had to create a weight loss plan that took nearly an entire year just to reverse the damage caused by overfeeding and poor food choices. So what's the fix here? First off, use a measuring cup when you're portioning your dog's meals. Don't just eyeball it. Overfeeding can happen even when we think we're doing a good job. Next, choose a high-quality dog food based on your dog's breed, age, weight, and activity level. And before switching brands or types of food, always check with your vet. They know your dog's specific needs best. Also, be mindful of toxic foods like grapes, chocolate, onions, and xylitol. Even in small amounts, these can be fatal. Now, I want to know, what's your dog's absolute favorite snack? And be honest, do you give it to them a little too often? Drop a comment below. Let's see who's got the ultimate treat-loving pup. Hashtag MISC4, not providing mental stimulation. Now, let's talk about mistake number 4. And this one often flies under the radar, not providing enough mental stimulation. Here's the deal. A bored dog is a destructive dog. We often think of dogs as just needing exercise, but they're not just energetic. They're also incredibly intelligent. Take border collies, poodles, or even mixed breeds. They thrive when they're given tasks that challenge their minds. Without mental stimulation, they can turn into problem solvers in ways we definitely don't want, like shredding cushions or digging up your backyard. Here's some research for you. A 2020 study from the University of Helsinki found that mentally stimulated dogs had fewer behavioral issues and showed increased dopamine levels, meaning they were actually happier. It turns out that keeping their brains busy is just as important as keeping their bodies active. Now, let's dive into some real-life solutions. Puzzle toys, treat dispensing balls, and hide-and-seek games are great ways to get your dog's brain working. You can also use basic obedience drills to keep their mind sharp. Did you know that teaching a new trick can burn as much mental energy as a 30-minute walk? That's right, you can tire your dog out mentally, even if you're short on time. I had a client with a husky named Luna who was constantly chewing shoes, especially her owner's favorite Nikes. It was a real problem. So, we introduced daily puzzle feeders and find-it games. Within just a week, Luna stopped chewing the shoes. The mental stimulation was exactly what she needed to stay engaged, and it completely turned around her behavior. Now, I want to hear from you. What's your dog's go-to boredom behavior? Do they dig, bark incessantly, or maybe chew on everything in sight? Drop it in the comments below, and I'll give you some ideas to tackle those behaviors. Hashtag mistake 5, inconsistent training. Now, let's wrap things up with mistake number 5, and trust me, this one might be the most common of all, inconsistent training. Here's the thing, dogs don't speak English. They speak consistency. If one day you let them jump on the couch and then scold them the next, they're not learning a clear rule. Instead, they're learning confusion. One minute they're rewarded, the next they're reprimanded. This mixed messaging creates frustration and behavior issues, not to mention unnecessary stress for your dog. And don't just take my word for it. Canine cognition researchers agree. Dogs learn best through clear, repetitive reinforcement. When the rules change or boundaries aren't clearly defined, it can lead to anxiety and even learned helplessness. It's a recipe for confusion and chaos in your home. So what's the fix? Set house rules and stick to them. If your dog isn't allowed to beg, then no one in the family should be sneaking them scraps. It's about being consistent, not just for your dog, but for everyone involved. Use positive reinforcement. Reward good behavior immediately when you see it. Positive reinforcement encourages them to repeat the behavior, while punishment-based methods often create fear, not respect. Let me tell you about a client I worked with who had a boxer named Rocky. One day, Rocky was allowed on the bed because he looked sad. The very next day, when it was time for him to get off the bed, he growled at his owner. Why? Mixed messages. He'd been given permission one day, so he didn't understand why the rule changed. It took months of retraining to get Rocky back on track. Now, I want to hear from you. What's one rule that your dog loves to break, and you secretly let them? Be honest, we won't judge. Drop it in the comments below. All right, let's quickly recap the 5 rookie mistakes we've covered today. First, don't treat your dog like a human. Learn their language and understand their instincts. Treating them as little people can lead to confusion, not connection. Second, don't skip socialization, especially during those crucial early weeks. Exposing your dog to new experiences, people, and environments early on sets them up for a lifetime of confidence and calm. Third, watch what and how much you feed. Doggy obesity is no joke. A healthy diet is key to a long, happy life. And remember, your dog's health isn't just about weight. It's about feeding them the right kind of food for their breed and activity level. Fourth, stimulate their minds. Boredom is the silent behavior killer. Dogs need mental exercise just as much as physical exercise, so keep them challenged with puzzles and fun activities. And finally, be consistent with training. Your dog's behavior is only as good as your follow-through. Set clear boundaries and stick to them. No exceptions. Final thought. Every dog is different, but they all need structure, love, stimulation, and safety. Avoiding these 5 rookie mistakes can literally add years to your dog's life and make your bond stronger than ever. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with fellow dog lovers. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button so you never miss out on more tips to keep your pup happy and healthy. All right, now it's your turn. Which of these mistakes have you made? No shame, we've all been there. Drop in the comments and help build this amazing dog-loving community. And if you're ready to dive deeper, check out our next video. Until next time, stay curious and keep loving your pets the way they deserve. Thanks for watching as always. We would see you on the next one. Bye.